Greetings and welcome, everyone. My name is Vorm. This is Vagrus, the Riven Realms. We are returning to the gameplay we started a few weeks ago. Got distracted by some 7 Days to Die action, and it's been, 2-3 weeks. I forget exactly how long since we last adventured through the lands of Vagrus. If you're unfamiliar, it's kind of a trading caravan simulator set in a Romanesque post-apocalyptic fantasy desert world. Check out episode 1 if you want to see the start of the series, but we're picking up for where we left off. We've returned to one of the main cities, and I remember we had loaded up our caravan with goods, and the plan was to go north. So, if we take a look at our map here, we are here at Torzag's Shelter, one of the main cities in the game world that we can explore to. If we zoom out a bit, the limits of the world, even though the map is this big map, lots of places, we actually can only adventure within a fairly small portion of that. Basically a box, right about like so. So that's the limits of where we can go. Lots and lots of stuff we can do within that area. So, but just realize that's kind of where we're limited to traveling in this kind of square here. So the plan is go from Torzag's. We're going to head up to our usual stop here at Arcane, and then we're going to go further north up to Devon. It'll be our first trip up to Devon. So far, the only places we've really been, we started down here at Kernak Way Station, went up the road to Torzag's, and then we've done this loop twice, I think, up to Arcane, Lumen, and then back along this road this direction. We made brief stops here, didn't get much done, but this has kind of been the limit of our exploration so far. So this will be a first. Once we get up to Arcane, you have the circles here denote quests that we've got located to deliver into that area. Then we're going to head up the roadway here on our first trip up to Devon, and we have 2 quests going up there as well. Is that limited just for this playthrough? Nope. This is the entire game world in its entirety. So it is a tad misleading if you see this map and go, oh my gosh, so many places, so many things to do. If you're not aware that there's a limitation of the actual playable area. But this is kind of a story-based world. It's a very, very, very densely detailed world setting. One of the most complicated and detailed I've seen in computer games. So you hear a lot of lore and stories and information about things that happen in other parts of the world. So it's part of the world building setup, but the entire world is not modeled. You've got the limit, like I said, of this kind of a square area here. But it's a huge area for gameplay purposes. I mean, you can spend hundreds of hours, real-world hours, just playing in this one little box and not having seen everything. Now, there are some DLCs. I know there's one DLC that opens up the Bronze Desert up here. So you travel through the pass, and then this whole area is its own fully realized DLC area with tons of adventures and stuff to do up here. I think that's the only large-scale addition to the map they've done so far. I don't know what the long-range plans are to open up any other areas of the map. But that's the only one that I remember is this area. So, but we're just starting to play the game. We got tons and tons of stuff to learn, to figure out, to explore, to do. So I'm not too concerned about it. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. That's our map position and what's going on there. If we look at some other things, just to kind of recap, I am Vorm. We are a trader, human Tarkian variety with an adventurer background, and our ambition, kind of our overall goal of achieving victory, is the wealth ambition. There's a few different ambitions you can choose from depending on what kind of playstyle you want to have. So, we're a trader. We're going to try to make money. These are perks. You can see the perks that we've taken, traverse, and we've put a few points into a few other categories. I'm not going to go over all of this stuff right now. Perk summary. This is a summary of our abilities within our entire caravan. Our faction standing. The only ones of note really are House Okwo. We've got 123 points of faction, so we've achieved the first level unlock with them. which gives us the benefit of access to faction trade offers, which are kind of large-scale trade deals where we can pick up an entire pallet of a particular good and deliver it, and it has more stable prices, so it's a little more of a stable way for us to earn some income. And as you increase your faction standing, you get access to more and more perks and benefits from that particular faction. But the factions are also opposed to each other in various ways. So an associate of this guild is the Loader's Guild, but an adversary is a Ratherneck Alliance. So by raising my faction with one guild, I am lowering my faction with their adversary guild, etc. So you got to kind of work a balance between those however you would like. That's the only one we've got a fairly significant amount of trade value with, or faction value with. Loader's Guild, we've got 77, so we're closing in on the first perk. We need 13 more points to get the first one here. So we'll keep working on that stuff. No status effects to worry about, so we're done there. We have our logbook. So currently we have 4 missions for faction houses. 2 of them are going to the city just north of us, and then the other 2 are the further city to the far north. And then we've also taken on a group of urchins that want to go to Arcane, the first stop in our travel. So we've got trade goods from these faction houses, and we've taken on some passengers. So that's kind of our tasks currently. That's all we need to know in there. So we've looked at the map, we've looked at those. So this is the cities options that we have available to us. We have our caravan info across the top. We got some movement points left for this turn, which we may or may not use. We've got 8 out of 8 march points, which is kind of like a forced march ability where we can push our caravan a little further at the expense of some morale and supplies and so on. We've got 280 out of 321 cargo used up currently. We have enough supplies on board to feed our caravan members and our guests for 5 days travel. 265 offense, 28 defensive points based on our soldiers and such. And then we've got 88 bros. So these are the units of money. Silver, bronze, copper, or however you want to refer to them. The official names are bros, lurg, and changers. And they're all 10 to 1. So 10 of these for one of these, 10 of these for one of these. Pretty easy to sort out. And then these are the things we can choose from within the city. So we've got storyline-based stuff, and we're all done with that. We did those items I wanted to do at the end of the last episode, and then we can go to the marketplace. Shows our cargo hold contents. We've got some ceruleus crystals that we picked up in Lumen, the city to the northwest. I didn't sell it all here because the price was starting to go down, so I decided to hold on to some to sell in other places. We've got our supplies. So we've got 900 units of supplies, and then that divides out, depending on our crew and our passengers, to 5 days worth of travel time. And then we've got the goods for the merchants. We've got 2 of each for the merchants that we're delivering. So I got 2 slots left. I'm debating whether I want to fill another slot with supplies before I take off. This is kind of our last chance to get supplies on the cheap, 1 each. Whereas most other places it's 2 or even 3 each. So this is a huge expense, is supplies. So I'm deciding whether I want to bulk up now. I'm planning on doing a little bit of scavenging while we're out in the wasteland to try to supplement our supplies. And I need slots in order to put stuff that we find in. But I really don't want to run out of supplies out in the wilderness. So I'm kind of waffling on whether I want to fill 1 more slot and just leave 1 open. It's probably better safe than sorry. So let's go ahead and get 1 more. That gets us up to 7 days of travel time with supplies we've got and the crew we've got. So we'll leave this 1 slot open. All right. We got a few pieces of equipment. These are the faction offers, which I'm not taking advantage of currently. Then we've got the Mancio, where we can hire and fire folks. We've got 12 slaves, 11 workers, 20 scouts, 21 fighters, 4 horses, and 3 beasts of burden. Our crew status, we're doing great. We've got 9s. I think 9's the highest you can get in morale, obedience, nutrition, and vigor. We've been maintaining that pretty well. Our consumption level, our workforce level, all of this stuff is kind of dovetailed together in various ways. You got to have a certain amount of supplies. So you got to have a certain amount of workers and slaves and so on for workforce points, which are needed to maintain the animals and keep the caravan moving, but you also need defenses adequate to protect everybody. So it's a big balancing act. If you get more of one thing, you end up needing more of other things and so on. It's a pretty interesting system. Lots of stats down here. You see our passengers as a group of urchins that we've taken on to deliver to the other city. We don't need to do any of this stuff at the moment, though. And we have the faction offers, the regular offers that we've already taken. So we're all done there. So we're pretty much ready to go. I think that gets us all caught up. So I think I'll just go ahead and get moving, and we'll see what happens. Do I want to waste a day? 7 out of 9. Nah, we can make good use of that travel time. Let's go ahead and leave the settlement. The Comitatus leaves the Mancio. You trudge towards the city gates. On second thought, you still have things to do. Nope, keep trudging. The guards talk to you briefly as the Comitatus moves through the gate. Do you still owe the city gate tax? You've already taken care of it and are free to leave. Yeah, I think I left and then came back in, so we've already paid the tax. We have 2 companions that are part of our group. The Garrick, who's taking care of the supercargo position. He's kind of like the pack master. Specialist in charge of cargo trading and making beneficial deals. He's giving us 15% extra cargo capacity and plus 10 to our negotiate skill. And then we've also got Krifta, who's doing our hunting and survival stuff. So we get a bonus to hunting base chance, foraging base chance, and luring enemies away. And it also opens up an animal equipment slot, which we haven't started using yet. So she's a hunter, organizing hunting parties for our scout. All right, so here's the map. It's a node-based map. The numbers in between the nodes are how many points of movement it takes to travel from the node to node. So from the position we're in to this node is going to cost us 2 of our 7 current movement points. We want to end with a couple of points left over if we plan on doing scavenging and such. If you march to the full extent of your movement rate, you actually lower certain levels of the caravan status. These are the levels you're worrying about: morale, obedience, vigor, and nutrition. And you'll see how we balance that as we travel. So we could get to there with our 7 points. I am planning on going north around this little setup, the place we're going. So I'm going to go north around this, and then we're going to cut straight across to get up to Arcane. We've taken the route on the other side a few times, but I'm going to go this direction then and cut across first. I'm not going to take the road up and then come across again. So that's kind of the plan. So let's go ahead and do the full 7 movement here. We're in good shape. So we'll go to there and camp. Okay, camp screen. So I'm just paying everybody as we travel as opposed to paying later. Keep them all happy and getting their paychecks on time. You can see we dropped our morale from 9 to 8 already because we used up our movement points. We also don't have points left over to do acquire supplies, and we can't do this on the road. The roadsides are fully basically hunted out because they're so heavily traveled. We have to go off-road before we can scavenge for supplies. So we're not going to do any of that. We are setting our defensive orders to the maximum. Post extra guards, sufficient armed crew. We have enough people to do so. That's going to get us +1 obedience, +1 morale, and lowers the chance of being ambushed by anybody because we have so many guards out. So we can pick any one of the 3, and it has various consequences, but we're as much as possible going to try to maintain this maximum safety option over here. Really, that's it. Oh, we're also on 150% rations. I'm making sure everybody stays well fed. So that's going to have an effect over time. So let's go ahead and hit end of day. All right. Now we've got our full 9 points of movement. We're back up to fervent on morale. 9s and everything is what we want to try to maintain if we can. And, we're down to 5 days of supplies already because of the extra food we're consuming. So let's go. If we go there, it leaves us 3 points of movement. If we go there, it uses all 9. Nope, don't do that. Yeah, let's just go 6 and we'll leave a few extra. I'm not sure we'll get to scavenge off of that close to the road or what the chances will be. Alright, so it's showing bars here. It's the percentage chances for various effects. So Critical success, normal fail, critical fail. That's what the colorations mean. So I'm kind of gauging whether I want to put somebody in the work there based on the chances. And then this is the results that we might get. It's the range of benefits we might get. So let's definitely do the scout. We'll send the scouts out. We got, it's only a 40% chance of success. Pretty high fail chance. I think that's because we're so close to the road still. But it's a very small chance of crit fail, so I'm going to leave them out. I'm not going to send these guys out. I think the return is not worth the high chance of crit fail. We don't want to lose anybody if we can afford it. So to do this has cost me 2 movement points. We left 3, so we're okay there. And then we'll keep the maintain guard. I'm actually going to drop the rations back to normal for a day, and that's going to have the effect of dropping us down to nutrition 8 instead of finishing up at nutrition 9, but I'm okay with that. All right, hey, we got a crit success. We rolled a 92. We got 400 more supplies out of that. We also got some hides and some bones. I'm not sure we have enough slots for everything. We ate up some food, so it might have freed up a second slot. It did not, so we have to make a decision here what we're going to leave behind. It auto-chooses the less valuable materials to leave, so you don't generally have to pay much attention to this, but I just have no more slots. So we're going to say we're okay with leaving that particular piece of bone. And we are back up to 7 days for travel. So we don't need to get... we don't need to succeed too often, basically. If I only succeed at a decent rate, even 1 out of 3 times we try during a trip, we'll replenish supplies at a pretty good rate because of a combination of how many scouts I'm carrying in the caravan and the various bonuses that we have, both for my caravan leaders bonuses as well as Krifta's bonuses and so on. So our hunting and foraging base chances are going up just from Krifta being in the Venatoris category. And so, yeah, we don't need to supplement that often. If we just normal fail, and then succeed, we should supplement our food very well. So I like the system. It's a very interesting system because you can do it several ways, and it's nicely variable, and there are good reasons to do it like I'm doing it now, heavy on scouts and heavy on bonuses that improve their chances to scavenge, versus ignoring all of that, putting points that you put into those kinds of bonuses elsewhere, and then traveling fast and never stopping, never saving points for the scavenging parties and so on. There are reasons and benefits. You might go either direction, and it changes the gameplay style fairly significantly. So I really like that's things you can do. We can't find a number I want a number 7 is what I want. I don't want 6. I want 7, but only certain kind of diagonals will get me the 7 number. So, I mean, there's 7, but I don't want to go that way. I need to go north. So we'll just have to settle for 6s if we want to go slow and scavenge. I think I'm gonna go a full march this time, and we'll forego scouting on this next one, just to get us there in a timely fashion. There are other pressures. If I keep going 6 movement, scavenging, 6 movement, scavenging, it's going to take me more turns to get there, and prices fluctuate for materials between locations. And so if I'm doing a trade route and I know the price is such and such at the destination when I leave, it may change by the time I get there. Other people might deliver materials of that type and the price comes down again. So I could be losing money because I'm not getting there quick enough to get the good prices. But in addition, we've got time limits for certain of our tasks that we have to get them done within the next period of time. So I have to make decisions on how quickly I travel and how much scavenging I do based on those other pressures. So it's a little more complicated than it has seemed so far if you're unfamiliar with the game. But we're going to be fine with the quests we've got currently. We've got plenty of time. So let's go ahead and do the full march this time. Now, there are some random events that could occur as we travel. That's both while we travel as well as at night when we hit end of day. It rolls dice to see if things happen, like if we get ambushed here in camp or if we get ambushed on the road and so on. All right, let's switch back to 150%. And what are our numbers? Only a 2% crit fail with a pretty good success rate, so we'll definitely send them out. We're still sitting at 6% for a pretty meager return. I'm not going to risk the slaves and the workers. And this time, because I didn't save points, movement points, it's going to cost us... what is that? That's going to cost us a vigor point in order to send the scout party out. Let's actually not do it. We've got plenty of supplies still. Well, the other thing I have to consider, I love that there are so many things to consider. I just remembered from playing weeks ago. The other important consideration is I mentioned before we left that it was my last chance to get supplies for cheap, where it only costs one changer of the money categories here. So changers are the lowest denominator. So trade or supplies are one per at that big city. Pretty much everywhere else, it could be 2 per, it could be 3 per, so we could be tripling our cost to buy supplies at a new location. So the more supplies I can carry with me or accumulate while we travel, I then have the option when we get there to sell the supplies that we gathered up at a higher rate, supplementing our income. So we're kind of right at the ragged edge of our caravan's carry capacity right now because I got so many different mission supplies in the inventory taking up space. So I can't do the searching, salvaging too much because I'll just end up leaving the stuff on the ground because I don't have the space for it. So lots of fun considerations, a lot of interesting decision making you have to make, which is awesome. Love that stuff. Okay. Yeah, so let's not bother putting anybody out right now. We don't have the space for it anyway. So still pay now. Yeah, 150 is fine. Max guards. Should just take us 2, maybe 3 more days to get there. I think we can get there in 1 more day. Oh, is that Arcane? I always forget if that's Arcane or if that's Arcane, but whatever. Yeah, let's go ahead and do another full day of travel. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The winds out here in the wasteland are getting more and more erratic. Not even the most seasoned travelers are used to such anomalies. You and your comus are certain that you can hear voices in the wind becoming ever louder. I think we got this one last time. I think it's just a minus. Oh no, the -1 morale for crowded camps hit us again. Yeah, minus morale, minus obedience. All right, so we got a spooky voices in the wind that we suffered. So now we're down on morale, on obedience, and on nutrition. I don't like that. I like being maxed. We still got 5 days of supplies. Let's see. We got 3 points. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's get some supply. Is this separate from the camp? Let's just do the camp option. Definitely send them out. Still pretty meager numbers for these guys. I'm not going to do that one. We'll go with that one. Beat them up. Pay them now. Heavy guard. We failed. Only rolled a 12, so we got no return. We can't quite get there, looks like. So 8 only leaves 1 point left over. Full march and then a short march the next day. Let's just do a partial march, and then we'll march into the city the next day. We'll get 1 more chance to scavenge. What if we go up this way? No, full there as well. Yeah, we'll just go there. Leaves 4 points. Know where I go. Yeah, that leaves 1. Not enough. Yeah, it's fine. Oops. Ah, crap. Not what I intended. Oh, well. That's fine. We're feeding everybody up so much. We're spending so much money and on rations and such that we're maintaining the other stats. So yeah, up to 1,000 with only a 2% loss rate and a 66% success rate. I like it. How about you? Still pretty meager. I just fear this crit fail number. Yeah, let's not do that one. I think if we get a success rate on those kinds of numbers, we'll probably fill up whatever spaces we've got anyway. All right, end of day. Another fail. Scout, what are you doing to me? All right, let's enter the city. Some passengers part ways, thanking your services. So that would be the children, the urchins. So we got paid a little bit. Okay, and we're at 9, 9, 7, and 8. We definitely need to get that fixed up. Maybe I'll spend the night in an inn to raise some stats. So we're now here in Arcane. I was thinking of selling some ceruleus crystal. So we sort by ceruleus crystal here. I'm trying to remember the that's the full stacks. So we bought the ceruleus crystal in Lumen, where we bought it for 15. Oops, we bought it for 22, and we're going to be selling it for 30. So 22 to 30. Which is about the same price as we were selling it for at Torzag's, and these numbers get updated when you visit. So as time passes, these get more and more out of date. But the market is dynamic in that if you just buy at one place, sell at another, and just go back and forth between those 2 points doing the same thing over and over, what you'll find is very quickly your buy price is going to go up because there's less and less of it available because you keep buying it and other people buy it. And then your sell location, the price is going to go down because more and more have hit the market recently. So you got to be careful not to overbuy, oversell, depending on the volume and the units and the need and so on. So more interesting decision making. So we had too much crystal basically to sell all of it at Torzag, so we're spreading it out a bit. All right, so we're still getting a decent price. Let's so if we watch the number here when I sell a stack of this, yeah. I dropped a lot. Ouch. Okay. So I wish it would update this price. It didn't update the price here. It's no longer a 30 sell price. So that's kind of annoying. So now we bought at 22 and we're only able to sell at 25. If I sell another stack, we're probably going to be below or equal to what I bought it at. So I think I'll hold the rest if I can until we get to our destination point. Let's go ahead and sell these hides. Other than that, we are stuck with the items that we are delivering for our faction quests. So that would be the 15 mushroom beer. So we got mushroom beer, mushroom beer, mushroom beer. So that's 50 of it. I got an extra stack of mushroom beer. 100 mushrooms, which is the 50 and the 50. Then we've got 20 obsidian, 10 and 10. And finally, 60 ceruleus crystal to Devon. Oh, okay, so I got to be really careful. I almost sold one of the ones that we have actually got a quest chain for. So we've got 25 mushroom beer that's above and beyond our quest needs. So, back to there, back to there. So, mushroom beer. I assume I bought that in Torzag's. So we bought it for 2, we can sell it for 4. So we can double our money here in Arcane on that one stack of mushroom beer. So let's go ahead and sell that. Got to keep everything else. The only other thing left is supplies. Alright, so we've got supplies only for 3 days. That's not good, because supplies per each. Yeah, see, it's double the price here to buy. It was 1 changer down at Torzag's, now it's 2. So now I really have to think about where we're going and what we're going to do. Oh yeah, I gotta turn those missions in. That'll free up more. So, you active and turn in. Alright, that helps out. Cool. Now, all these darker squares are slots we now have available. How many squares we have is based on how much total cargo capacity we have, which is based on how many horses and beasts of burden we have, etc. I think it's every 20 points gets us one of these slots. So at 321, we have this many slots up to here. Let's check available. We're heading north to Devon. We got 2 quests going up there for cargo. That is the plan. So let's see if we have any other quests going to Devon. Back to Torzags. Back to Lumen. Torzags. Everybody wants me to go back to Torzags. Well, that's unfortunate. So we have no additional quests heading onward north to Lumen. Okay. Don't have anything to claim. Faction offers. They're offering to let us buy marble. I have no idea what the price in Devon might be for marble. So I believe this second one is I have to spend a faction point with them basically to get this lower price. So I'm trading on my reputation basically. But 4 or 5 I believe is a good price for a stack of marble anyway. I think marble is here. Nope. Where you at, marble? There it is. Alright, so here in Arcane, buy it for 4 per full stack. And like I said, I don't have any idea what it sells for. So if I were going back to Torzags, we could buy for 4 and sell for 7. But we're not doing that route right now. We've done that a couple of times. So, I think I'll probably buy a stack speculatively. Standard price for marble here is 5.5. Here. Yep, damn it. There. For a full stack. Yeah, 4.4. 4.5. Weird. Really? That was 1? Alright, let's get 2 stacks of marble. I've got to get a little more food. I don't want to make, if I fail on the scouting run, that margin's a little too narrow for comfort for me. So, let's buy some exorbitantly priced supplies. Still got lots of slots left over. No faction offers to take up. I don't know, since we haven't been further north, I don't know how many other locations might be along that road that we could possibly trade to. Let's get 1 more stack of marble. And 1 more stack of supplies. All right, I'm going to call that good. So that leaves us a number of slots we can use, hopefully, when we go off-road. What I'll probably do is I'm going to parallel the road instead of traveling on the road as we go north. It'll be slower, but it'll give us opportunities to scavenge and hopefully fill up these slots with valuable supplies. I'm going to assume Devon is a pretty big city to the north. It's going to be like Torzag's, and we'll be able to get supplies cheap there because it's a really big city. But that's a guess because I've never been there. Okay, do we want to do anything else while we're here? I still don't have the points to turn Harvick into one of my deputies. I am missing a skill point for my character to do so. I only have authority 2. I need to get this to a 3 in order to have the Harvick, the third guy, assigned to a slot. Which needs insight, which is basically like XP points that you get to spend, but I don't have enough. It won't tell me how many I need, which kind of annoys me. I have no idea how many of this I need in order to have this button light up. But, you know, that's part of why we're good at traveling to new places. One of the best ways to earn insight is to explore and find new locations. So that's what we're doing. All right, so I think we're okay with that stuff. Not going to change my arrangement of people. Let's go ahead and trade news. Check for passengers. Anybody going north? I don't know where these places are. Crystal, Twin Towers, and Ash. That's the wrong direction. Don't want to go that way. That's way south on the border, apparently. That's even further out of our way. Well, that's where we're going. And then way down along this road to the west is Ash. I believe this is the slavery capital. So if you're doing a run heavy on that feature, then probably a place you'd want to visit. We might want to go there anyway, because it's probably a major city type and lots of stuff going on. Avernum, I think, is the western edge of the map. So, I think it's major city, major city, major city. I don't know if these, that looks major as well. These all, notice how Torzag's shelter has got the same symbol, same symbol, same symbol. Slightly different, slightly different. So I think we've got, what, 4 major cities, then 3 or 4 mediums, and then a whole bunch of little things scattered all over the place. So I could possibly be interested in that just for exploration purposes. Yeah, we've got the legend up here, so. It says major ruins, though. Pretty sure Torzag and these other places aren't ruins, but whatever. Is that a slightly different? Yeah, that's a different symbol. So the symbol for the cities is not on that legend. Left city. Ah, there it is. Yeah, city, town, village. Got it. Too many symbols. All right. I'm not going to do that one, though. Yeah, I'm not going to take... too many things could happen between now and getting to that kind of a location. The money's just not enough to make it worth locking me into wanting to do that. So I'm going to say no to passengers. We'll go ahead and buy rumors. The riches of the earth. Rumors circulate that obsidian and metal are much in demand in the city of Devon due to its distance from regions where these resources can be attained. Obsidian and metal. I don't think Arcane provides either of those in abundance. Obsidian in demand. Yeah, everybody wants obsidian. I mean, we've got some, but it's a faction quest that we're turning in, so we're not going to get a portion of that. All right. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get that stuff. I'm not even sure where you buy this stuff in decent numbers. Cheapest place we know of to buy it is where we're at 100, but I don't know if, I mean, that's super expensive. That's really rich for my blood. Lumen and Vagrus Quarry have, you can buy for 6 on Obsidian. Oh. We have a Devon listing? 7 days old? Huh. Wonder when I got this Devon listing. Same thing with Ash. Okay. 56 days old. We must have bought the information, traded. That I'm not going to trust. 7 days old doesn't seem too bad, though. So, Obsidian, theoretically, sell for 9. It's not enough for me to really worry about. And we'd be selling at a loss, theoretically, here. Yeah, I don't see any good opportunities where we're at to where that rumor's giving us information. So I'm not going to worry about that stuff. All right, moving on. No faction stuff. Story-based stuff. We're back at Arcane. I don't want to look for the monster. Not going to visit the shop. I think I'm just going to keep traveling. We've done a lot of this stuff here in Arcane already. So let's go ahead and we're only at 4 out of 9. Let's go to the Mancio, rest, and we are currently at 7 nutrition, 9 obedience. So we could sleep on the stable floor, get a vigor. Good night's sleep in the Mancio's rooms, morale, vigor, nutrition, and splurge all the hospitality. 2 morale, 2 nutrition, but it costs varying amounts, of course. And it shows here what we're going to end with, depending on what we pick. Basically, this is going to maintain. That's going to gain slightly. So this has no cost. This costs, ooh, wow, 2 and 3 of our most expensive of the Bros. Let's just go, screw it. Let's go big. We got a big unexpected, unknown journey ahead of us. All right, so we're full on movement points. Let's go ahead and exit the city. 9998. We'll go extra. Oof, I forgot we're at 5 supplies. All right, so we're going to be going to unknown locations now. I've never been north of Arcane, so I'm just going to follow. I'm going to go up along this spine of these mountains, or the whatever these are, and then we'll get near the road, maybe 2 nodes away from it, and I'm going to try to parallel it, and we'll see how we do. I hope we don't starve to death. That would be bad. Let's make a save. Sure, that's fine. I don't remember if we got a lot of auto saves and a few manual saves. We'll call it V2. All right, so... Hey, the magic number 7. I like it. Go there. All right, so 9998. We'll go to 150 for tonight. Why is that only maintaining me at 8? You. Huh. Thought that would bump me to 9. Okay. Still not liking those numbers. Fail. Six and 8. I hate 6 and 8. I hate 6 and 8. Yeah, even worse. Yeah, this is not good if I have to maintain 150 all the way just to maintain my nourishment. That is not a good sign. Well, there's the crit success. 834 with some extras. One slot left now. So, that got us up to 8 days. I mean, we started at 5 days total. So, like I said, we don't need to succeed all that often. Every third or so is usually plenty. We can choose to leave these behind later if we need to, if we get another good hit. But as long as we can do that every once in a while, we can maintain that, that high food rate. Alright, so there's the road. 8 to get to there. 8 no matter where I go. That's even worse. 5 to 8 sucks. Down to 2% fail rate, or crit fail. Nice. Even these guys are down. 6 is what I usually see, down to 5. Alright, let's try once. We'll leave them to do that. We got plenty of movement points. Still keep paying everybody. We got the cash. Maintain the 150%. High guards. Success, 490. Fail, brought in a tiny bit. Alright. Now we're up to 10 days travel time. I think I might just travel max a few days now. Because we're out of space for stuff anyway. We just lost a morale for crowded camps as well. What that is as the size of your comitatus grows, certain benchmark numbers, it applies this negative crowded camps. Chance of losing morale during camp. Friction between crew members of this size, which may cause an occasional drop in morale. So far, I've barely noticed it. I see the thing happen, but we've got so many bonuses and positive modifiers going on that usually the morale recovers right away anyway. So having heavy guards, good pay on time, and so on is keeping morale high despite that, so I don't worry about it over much. All right. Following the road is a little harder now. Nine to there, 9 to there. Let's just go, whoops. Go to there. Actually, I'm missing out on opportunities to explore things along the road while we do this. At least on the other side of the road, because it looks like we're passing someplace I would like to actually interact with. Keep everything else the same. Fail. Because we could have dipped into Ventulium to get it explored basically on our map and get insight for it. Where are we at? We're still a long way to go. We've got a lot of supplies coming in. Do I dip over to there and then go north on this side of the road? Take me a day to get back to the road. The other negative for the road is tolls. I haven't hit one yet, but I know they are possible. Yeah, I'd like to get this thing mapped in while we travel. We seem to be doing okay on supplies. How much time do we have on journal tasks? Time left. That's getting a little concerning. Do I have time for this? The rate we're going, I think I might need to push forward faster. I'm worried about not getting there in time. I think that might be a worse thing than the benefit of hitting this. We'll probably come back south along the road just so I can kind of experience it, and we'll dip into there on the way back. So let's keep heading due north. Okay, what are we looking at? 8998. Still got good numbers there. Another success, crit success, 700 more. Don't have enough slots for the extraneous stuff. That's fine. I'm actually not sure if 40 supplies. Average price of owned stock. Oh, well, that's because I bought so much of it at 1. Nah, it's fine. Leave it the way it is. Yeah, I am getting kind of worried about how long this is going to take. Might be time to hit the road and pay some tolls. Yeah, let's do that. Let's hit the road. Oh, all right, here we go. As soon as I touch the road, bad things happen. There's a yell ahead as one of your Vanguard scouts signals to Comitatus about something on the road. It takes only a few minutes to reach it and see what it is. Another Comitatus, only this one has upturned carts and dead beasts along with its massacred crew. Bodies are everywhere, lying on the road and on the side of the dike, bloodied and mutilated even. There's also a stench of burnt flesh in the air. From where you stopped, it seems nobody is moving. Must have been long ago, one of your combs informs you. Maybe several hours from the looks of it. Even now, most of your crew is looking around anxiously, holding weapons ready for an ambush. Holy crap. Okay. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. You take some of your most trusted combs and approach the wreckage carefully. Getting closer without any issue, you can observe the destruction from up close. It appears that someone set an ambush for the unfortunate Comitatus here. The carts are indeed damaged and some of them are turned to their side, yet the cargo seems to be barely touched, which means that the attackers either had no time to loot or were not interested in the goods. Most beasts of burden were killed very early in the attack, struck down by arrows and javelins. The crew and guards were massacred when they tried to defend themselves. They seem like your regular trader sort, although a few among them are wearing colored steel armor, the likes of which you have only seen on soldiers of the dragon armies. Everything points to the assault being well coordinated, the work of professionals. After a while, you identify the attackers. They look like mercenaries in dark armor. A scout tells you that she does not think any of them got away. Then there are the burn marks all over the place. Whatever caused them must have been potent, like dwarven bombs, only smaller. It scorched carts, the stones of the road, and people alike, perhaps even killing some of them. The strangest is a pair of corpses fused together as if petrified into a lethal hug by what you can only imagine was some devastating arcane force. They're so badly burned that it is impossible to make out who or what they once were. Suddenly, there's an anguished cry from the other side of the wreckage. You and your fighters rush there to see a young woman whose right leg is trapped or is stuck under a fallen cart lying on the ground, desperate, but unable to get away from a man in leather armor crawling towards her, brandishing a long knife. He's almost reached her, raising the knife high to strike, while the woman is trying to kick him away to no avail. Neither of them has seen you yet. Rush to the woman's aid. You leap forward and finish the man off with a single decisive whack to the back of the head. The dagger falls on the ground from the mercenary's now limp hand, and the terrified woman looks up at you in utter shock. Now it is clear that she is a dragonkin, with fine scale covering parts of her body along with small, barb-like bone spikes. Her reptilian eyes wide, she sputters unintelligibly for a few moments before finally managing to speak coherently. Who? She seems to suddenly realize something. You're not one of them. She lies back on the ground and laughs so that you can see tears in her eyes. It takes her several minutes to calm down, and you use that to have your crew free her leg and tend to her wounds. I'm very grateful, she says eventually, wiping her eyes and gritting her teeth as her leg is set and bandaged. I'm the luckiest person alive, really. What were the chances that someone shows up just before? Her voice breaks, but she composes herself. I cannot thank you enough, Vagrus, but I am also forgetting my manners. Forgive me. My name is Findurarth. I am a representative of the Dragonlands. Well, of the Blue Brood, to be precise. Thank you for saving my life. So much words! Findurarth seems a little reluctant at first, but then clears her throat and looks you in the eye. My superior and I are diplomats on a mission given to us by the leaders of the Blue Brood. We hired this comitatus, she indicates the wreckage around her, after leaving our homeland to take us south, where we were to meet someone important. Everything went smoothly until the attack. We did not expect anything like it, and why would we have? Our mission is important, but not clandestine by any stretch of the imagination. But these murderers were clearly here to kill us. They even had a sorcerer with them to hide their presence and to counter the magical abilities of my superior and my own. She stops and looks around, then struggles to her feet. You follow her to the place where the two burnt corpses are, twisted into a single morbid column of charred flesh, forever locked in a deadly embrace. There, Findurarth breaks down crying and falls to her knees. You tell her that she is safe now, that she should be resting, and ask her how you can be of assistance. Does not seem to help, but then you give Findurarth a cape that she manages to drape around her shoulders, and slowly but steadily, the weeping comes to an end. I'm sorry, I did not know Hathordus, my superior, too well. I was assigned to him as a diplomatic attaché only fairly recently. She sighs, finally having conquered the sobs. But he was a good man. To see him end like this, he saved me too, you know. I got stuck beneath the cart during the attack after arcane missiles hit the column. Hathordus blinked forward from a safe spot and grabbed the enemy sorcerer before he could finish me off. We were seriously outmatched, so he used his remaining arcane might to create an explosion that killed them both, along with many mercenaries around them. You instruct your crew to put the bodies to rest. You move away from the worst part, and Findurarth calms herself with a drink of cool water. You probably have questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can. Oh boy. All right. Who she is, why she's here, what mission, ask about the attack, ask what she wants to do now. I think she may be an NPC that we can hire, so I probably should get all the details. I'm not going to continue to read every single thing that comes up, though. It's too many words. I'll go hoarse in half an hour if I try to read out all of the text of all of this stuff. Alright, diplomat, attaché, born at, raised at, instructed in. See the mission through. Sent south to Kernak Station. That's where we began the game in the far south of the playable area. Meet a contact there. Alright. It's pretty much repeating most of the stuff we already knew. What do you want to do now? I have to finish what we started. What happened here does not make my mission less important. On the contrary, more than ever before, I think what we set out to do is important. All right. Make your decision about Finderarth. Why did I lose loyalty? I don't know. Krifta, Garrick, Harvac. Probably the choice I made and how to deal with the situation. They wanted me to handle it a different way, like ignore it. They thought it was too dangerous, and so I lost loyalty with them. That's my guess. That, or maybe they hate the Dragonkin, and doing anything to assist Dragonkin could make them lose loyalty to me. All right, so offer to take her or leave her to her fate. I guess this might be where we find another drop of loyalty. I'm going to say yes and then go north, directly away from where she wants to go. So hopefully it's not timed. Okay, I'll let you read all this while I read through it. Ah, shit. Utmost importance to get there in time. 3 weeks' time. Offers me the dragon steel of my former companions, along with the cargo of our unfortunate comitatus. And gratitude to the Dragonlands. Carrying spice and coffee. We didn't have a lot of space, so we're going to have to do some divvying. Okay. Stuff. Dragon steel. Definitely taking dragon steel. I have no idea what, when, or where I'll be able to use that. We don't need more supplies, and I don't think I'm going to worry too much about 3 coffee beans compared to the rest of the stuff. All right. Yeah. Got supplies, scraps, some tiny bit of money, lost a movement point. All right, so we got to finish our trip to Devon. I'm finishing that no matter what. I think we'll have enough time if I just stay on the road and deal with tolls or whatever, which I kind of wanted to do anyway so I could experience that. So we're going to rush for Devon, do whatever we're going to do, and then we'll head back south. We're at 0 out of 9. Time to camp on the road. Not going to bother trying to scavenge. We've got plenty of food. Extra guards, still doing 150, which gets us, maintains our nourished, but everything else is fine, so that's good. Finderarth is healed to hurt status. 1 medical supply used. I guess I should. Is she showing up as, yep, she sure is. So, she is now hurt. Loses 20% maximum vitality. But as long as we have medical supplies, she'll occasionally make a healing roll, basically. We have 29 medical supplies still. I bulked up on medical supplies before we left Torzog. Alright, so we're good. Max move, please. 8 out of 9 versus 6. 8's fine.